travel is always a complex matter. With this, at least we'll always know it's you, present time Marinette.
One of the most intricate plot devices in Miraculous Ladybug is time travel. The Miraculers must interact with the timeline in specific ways to avoid causing ripple effects throughout history, which could have disastrous consequences for the past, present, and future. Bunnyx is often the first line of defense for time-related infractions, and she's also the last hero Ladybug calls on when all other plans fail, meaning when she shows up on the field, the situation must be dire. Bunnyx won't intervene just for anything. She's determined to maintain the natural timeline, which means sitting on the sidelines while her allies lose battles and allow their enemy to walk among them, hidden in plain sight. It would take a colossal event or major infraction on the timeline to warrant Bunnyx stepping in, but there's a handful of reasons worthy of her help. In today's video, I'll discuss some seriously high-stakes situations that would lure Bunnyx from her burrow.
Minibug, something happened today that caused a major disaster in the future. I'm not sure what it was or when it happened exactly.
Number 1. Adrien learns the truth. Everyone who has watched the previous seasons knows that information should come to light at certain times. For example, in the episode Cat Blanc, the heroes discover Hawkmoth's identity and vice versa. They use their knowledge of one another to twist the following battle in their favor, with Gabriel telling Adrien the truth about his mother. Adrien's devastation made him the perfect target for an akumatization, and as Cat Blanc, he received powers strong enough to destroy Paris. Adrien becoming Cat Blanc is an alternative timeline never meant to exist, spurred on by Marinette and Adrien discovering one another's secret identities early and later made worse by their unmasking of Hawkmoth. Bunnyx intervenes with an alternative timeline and recruits a past version of Ladybug to help fix the damage, ultimately correcting the timeline and restoring history. However, Marinette still learns Hawkmoth's identity down the road in Recreation, where she has her showdown with him in the Agrest home, where she is also unmasked and has her identity revealed to her enemy. The difference is that the identity reveal happened at appropriate points in the timeline, so it didn't create a breach or alternative reality. We learn from these instances that something happening too early can have disastrous repercussions on the timeline, as it can have a butterfly effect that creates massive ripples. One possibility I find deeply concerning is Adrien learning the truth about his father too soon. Marinette chooses to hide Monarch's identity from him and the rest of the world, but she's not the only one harboring such a massive secret. Other characters who are incredibly close to Adrien like Plague, Natalie, Kagami, and Felix can tell him the truth, leading to a horrifying revelation. If Adrien learns the truth before he's ready, there could be a significant emotional fallback, leading to another akumatization and world-ending event that only Bunnyx can prevent.
Cat Blanc, I'm giving you the infinite power of destruction!
Number 2. Another wish. We learn early on that Gabriel wants the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses because combining them can grant him his deepest wish. However, unlike most one-note villains, he's not after wealth, power, or notoriety. In fact, he already has all three of those things by spending a decade creating a notable fashion empire. His hard work aside, Gabriel wants to use his wish to bring his late wife Emily back to life. Through 5 seasons, he works tirelessly to take this power for himself and ultimately succeeds in Recreation. However, after a jarring conversation with Marinette that appeals to his human nature, he uses his wish to save Natalie, trading his life for hers. Not only does that allow him to reunite with Emily in the afterlife, but it also provides Adrien with a caring and devoted maternal figure, who always puts his best interests first. While the wish didn't change anything in the past, it did cause a shockwave that ultimately changed the future. We can assume that Gabriel making his wish would always be a canon event, as Bunnyx didn't intervene or prevent Gimme from appearing. Still, any wishes that alter the past would immediately infringe on the timeline and require her to interfere. We witnessed this firsthand in Miraculous World London, when Lila manages to steal the Miraculouses from Marinette, summon Gimme, and make a wish that erases their universe from existence. Lila's wish wipes their universe off the map, but it has a slower effect in the burrow. Bunnyx can witness the timeline slowly disappear as she gradually loses access to her various windows. Since her burrow acts as a pocket dimension, it protects her from the effects of Lila's wish. But it also means that only she and anyone she brings inside can race against the clock to prevent another wish from happening in the first place. Should Lila, Marinette, Adrien, or another character entirely summon Gimme before the series is through, Bunnyx may be the only one capable of preventing her universe's total annihilation.
Someone who knows who I really am! The wish!
Number 3. Adrien faces erasure. Many fans were thrilled when representation aired. The episode explained how Emily Agreste and Colt Fathom used the Peacock Miraculous to aid in the birth of their children, who are just as alike as their mothers. By the 5th season, most had come to suspect Adrian as a centibeing, as the writers had started leaving hints throughout the episodes that explained his conflicting obedience to Gabriel and the growing tension in the Agreste household. Now that Gabriel is gone and Felix wields the Peacock Miraculous, many assume Adrian is safe. In the 6th season alone, we've already witnessed him setting firm boundaries with the people he cares about and pursuing new hobbies while making important decisions, such as whom he will live with for the remainder of his teenage years. His newfound autonomy marks a new chapter in his life, but it doesn't mean he's out of the woods yet. There's always time for someone to steal the object that holds his amok or for another villain to claim the Peacock Miraculous for themselves. In either scenario, Adrian's life would be in considerable danger as they could destroy his amok or erase him from existence, removing Adrian from the timeline altogether. I think it's safe to assume that Adrian is a fixed point in Miraculous Ladybug's narrative. For their world to continue and prosper, it needs Cat Noir, so Bunnyx would need to step in if it meant keeping Adrian safe.
My life is here in Paris with Marinette, my friends, and you.
Number 4. Lila steals the Miraculous. At the end of the 4th season, the Miraculers experienced something cataclysmic. Felix managed to con them all, infiltrating their ranks as Flairmidable. When the moment was right, he stole Ladybug's yo-yo and used it to give Gabriel access to the Miraculouses in the Chinese Miracle Box. With them, he began a new reign over Paris as the villain known as Monarch, who leased the Miraculous's power to his willing akumatized villains. Meanwhile, Ladybug and Cat Noir had to work double time to stop them without their former teammates to support them on the field. It was an ongoing battle that didn't end with the heroes winning, but with Gabriel ultimately getting what he always wanted, and being willing to give back the stolen Miraculouses. It makes sense for Gabriel to give the Miraculouses back once he no longer has a use for them. But the same can't be said for Lila. She steals all the Miraculouses in the latest special, even when she intends to summon Gimme for a wish. Whatever her ultimate goal is, she thinks it wouldn't hurt to have additional powers at her disposal, which means none of the Miraculouses are safe. In a few episodes, Lila has already proven she's twice the villain Gabriel ever was, and Bunnyx might decide to stop her from retaking the Miraculouses should the opportunity arise. Number 5. Marinette becomes akumatized. As the leader of the Miraculers, Ladybug inspires her team by guiding them to success. While her plans may seem long-winded and peculiar, she always manages to get the job done and keep their city safe, which also makes her an inspiration to the people of Paris. She's a pillar in their community, and her lack of akumatizations only helps her pristine image. There's little doubt that if Ladybug ever turned, chaos would reign, allowing Lila to take control of Paris and create an army of akumatized villains, one strong enough to stand against the remaining Miraculers. Should Marinette become akumatized with her Miraculous, the other heroes would be in serious trouble. The Ladybug Miraculous can be incredibly dangerous if used with the wrong intention, as shown by Shadybug in Miraculous World Paris. The Miraculers may find themselves between a rock and a hard place, with no choice but to call on Bunnyx to help them outmaneuver their former leader and her lucky charms.
But not discreet, and even less clever.
He can't be that far. Boogerfly, we know you're hiding here.
Show yourself, other.
So far, Bunnyx has always shown up when faced with the end of the world or an alternative timeline. Although she's determined to keep the natural timeline as pristine as possible, she'll always step in if doing so means protecting her friends from unfortunate circumstances or total annihilation. If there's a problem Ladybug and Cat Noir can't conquer on their own, we can be reassured that Bunnyx will always be in their corner, waiting for the right time to tag in and ensure the timeline is restored.
Wow, it's a lot bigger on the inside.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Our future is in danger. I need your help.